Mhm. Oh boy. Okay, I think we're live. I have no idea. Bear with me if anybody's here. Hmm. All right, I might be talking to myself. I don't know. If you're here, maybe say something in the chat because this is new to me. And we'll see how it goes. I don't know if I'm talking to myself or if I see there's two people here. One of them is me. All right, well, I'm just going to walk through it and maybe I'll notice if other people are here or not. Quality Raters guidelines updated last week, and Google did so many things that I have not had time to open them yet. So I thought it would be kind of cool to just open and read through. And so I have the two of them here on the screen, and let's just walk through it. So, usually when the QRG updates, it's minor, but everybody keeps telling me that there's a ton of changes in this one. So we're just gonna go through paragraph by paragraph. I used to use diff checker for these, and I don't anymore because it's too difficult. Okay, so something's changed here. They've added people all over the world use search engines. For example, searches about groups of people should return helpful results that represent a diversity of demographic backgrounds and cultures. All right. That's something that we'll come back to. I don't think that there's anything earth shattering in. What we're looking for really is things that represent how Google might be looking at quality. That's what I find when I look at the QRG is it's sort of like a textbook on what Google wants to rank. It's not exactly what Google's ranking. And my theory is that Google uses all sorts of machine learning algorithms and things like that to try to replicate what's in the QRG. So when they change something, it usually means that that's where they're headed. That's what they where they want to go. Okay, thank you, Frankie. I am live. Okay, so let's see here if any of these have changed. I think this is the same. And we'll just zip through. I may miss some, but really what I'm looking for is the EEAT stuff, which I can't say without laughing. Okay, these all look the same. Comfortable. All right, these are just instructions. All right, they've added something here about the role of examples. The examples throughout these guidelines are very important to illustrate how the concepts defined in each section should be applied in rating tasks for different types. Okay, so what have they added here? They've taken out that, oh no, some show desktop, some show mobile. Okay, because some types of content are difficult to okay, this is just talking about, there's nothing important for us in there. All right, gosh, they have made a lot of changes, huh? Okay. They took out, ultimately, the goal of page quality rating is to evaluate how well a page achieves its purpose. And I don't know why. Okay. Because different types of websites and web pages have very different purposes. Okay. So they've taken that out and just said the goal of page quality rating is to evaluate how well the page achieves its purpose. A lot of people miss that. we're talking about EAT all the time, and we're going to talk a lot about experience and what the difference is between experience and expertise. But ultimately, what Google wants to rank is the page that actually meets the searcher's query and does it in a way that they feel satisfied with. So, okay, so in order to be a successful page quality rater, now this is all the same. Okay, it'll get more interesting. Hang in there. All right, important definitions. I think these are the same, a web page, a URL. Let's get to better stuff. If I miss something, put it in the chat if you catch something that I miss. Okay, these are the same. Oh, okay. Wait a second. What did they take out? Share about a topic, to share personal or, this is different. Personal or social information. What are we talking about here? Understanding the purpose. Okay, so there are multiple purposes for a web page. And this is really important to SEOs because it's really important that each page has a purpose. I think there are some situations where a page might be transactional and informational, and Google might rank it for both of those queries, those types of queries. But if somebody's clearly looking for a transactional page, then Google wants to rank transactional pages. So it's important to understand how Google classifies pages. And so it might be, they used to say to share personal or social information. Now they're saying to share a personal experience. Okay, so this is the first incidence where they're saying experience, maybe a personal perspective or feelings on a topic. That's interesting, right? So this is different than expertise. Expertise, and I'm sure we'll get to this in a bit, but expertise, I've been telling some people that, I used to be a veterinarian and I have expertise in veterinary medicine. I have a degree. That's why I have a doctor in front of my name. That's expertise. But I don't have experience in veterinary medicine in the last 12 years or so. 10 years, sorry. And if you asked me about the latest flea medicines, for example, I can tell you from my past experience, but there are other vets who would have more firsthand experience, and that would be more helpful to people to hear from somebody who has firsthand experience. Okay, what else? Pictures is the same. This is the same. Entertain. I think these are all the same here. All right. And then they give an example. Okay. YMYL topics. So the last time the QRG changed, it was this was something that was big that they added, was adding a bunch of topics instead of saying YMYL pages. Or I used to say all the time YMYL sites, and really it's the topics that are your money or your life. It looks like this is all the same. I think that's all the same. All right. Okay. This is what they added last time. This wasn't in until last update. Have they changed these? I think these look the same. Okay. I'll skip through those. The same. Oh, something's changed in here. For pages about clear YMYL topics, we have a very high page quality rating standards because low quality pages could potentially negatively impact a person's health, financial stability, or safety, or the welfare or well-being of society. Okay, so they took out page quality rating examples in these guidelines about YMYL topics will be labeled as YMYL. Okay, so they took out the fact that they're labeling YMYL topics. All right. I don't think that's important. I haven't started laughing yet about ET. EAT. Okay. Yeah, I think these are the same. Oh, did they take one out here? Yeah, I took something out here. News article, product page. Video page. The purpose is to show a video. Okay, so why have they taken out video pages? We'll just take note of that for now. What are these? We're talking about identifying main content. Interesting. Okay, we'll just take note of that for now. You know what I'm going to do about all of these changes? I was going to create a Google Doc as I was doing it. And then I thought, you know what? I'll just take the transcript from this video once it's up on YouTube and then run it through ChatGPT. And then I'm going to ask ChatGPT what all the changes are and what I said was important. And I bet you I'll have an article from that. Okay, something changed in section, I should probably mention it, right? Something changed in section 2.42, identifying supplemental content. So let's see here, helps the page achieve its purpose. Oh. Supplemental content, this is what it used to say, is controlled by webmasters and is an important part of the user experience. I think they just took out controlled by webmasters because they're trying to get away from the language of saying webmaster. It doesn't really add to that sentence. So I don't think that that is any major change that we need to pay attention to. Well, here again, they took out video pages. I was going to see what they said a video page was. All right, so really maybe YouTube kind of replaces all that. I don't know. Interesting. Okay, identifying advertisements. Has anything changed there? I don't think so. Oh, something's changed in this paragraph. Listings, sponsored results. Okay, so they took out, usually you can click on the links or mouse over the content to determine whether they are ads. All right, so they've just taken that out. I don't really care about that. I think some of the changes in this QRG are just to make it more concise. They've probably had an editor go through it. Years ago, the Google contacted me when I was doing penalty work because the wording of manual actions was so confusing about whether you were going to see traffic drops or whether it was actually a penalty or maybe it wasn't. And so I wrote like 20 pages back of how I would word these, and they changed them, and they were even worse than they were before. Not because of my advice, I don't think, but recently Google, I think, has gotten a lot better at communicating with us, and it's really nice that they do that. Okay, they've removed video pages again from there. This looks all the same. All right, they took out. Oh no, that's the same. Okay. Took out videos again. Understanding the website. Something new here. Okay, to understand a website. Websites are usually very eager to tell. Okay, they took that out. Oh, no, they did. Okay, to understand a website, start by finding out who's responsible for the website. And that's why it's so important to have a good contact page and about us page, and to have it so that people can find it. Don't kind of make it kind of cutesy, and instead of naming it about or about us, name it, like our fantastic team. I mean, that might work. Google might figure it out, but really you should make it easy for Google. Let's see, the website itself. Why am I confused here? Websites? To understand a website, okay. More information. Oh, they tell you there's more information on how to do that. Okay, that's good. Good. Then look for information about the website and or content creators on the website itself. And I've pointed out, there's a video that I did a few months ago about Google's About This Result that you can find in the search results. Click on the 3 dots next to About This Result, or next to the search results, and you'll actually see more about what the website themselves say about themselves and then what other people say. And then, okay, you must also look, this is the same. All right. Finding the home page. They took out having trouble finding it. Use Control F to search on the page for the text home or main. All right, I don't think that changes our SEO strategy. These look the same. We got a lot of pages to go through, so I'm going to skip through fast. And I got to jump off at the top of the hour, so we might not be able to finish, but we'll see. I think these all look the same. I hear a lot of people saying they're printing out the QRG to read through them. The problem is there's so many examples that you can click on that you'd have to print out a ton of other stuff too. But you can still get some good reading from printing it. Okay, so something's changed here. They used to say when you're finding out who's responsible for the website, who created the content on the page you're evaluating, and now created the content on the page you're evaluating. This is new. Note that for pages on websites such as forums and social media platforms, people may post content using an alias or username in order to avoid sharing personally identifiable information online. In these cases, the alias or username is an acceptable way to identify the content creator. That's really interesting. So we've had all this discussion about whether Google identifies authors, and some people have said, no, it's not possible because the number of authors in the world is like an extraordinarily high number, right? Like any one of us that puts information on the web could be considered an author. And I've always thought that the knowledge graph can do that, and I think Google's goal is to have, they talk about the knowledge vault that's even bigger than the knowledge graph. I think there's, so if you use an alias, so if you're, when I first started on in forums, I was Dr. Marie, and who would know who Dr. Marie is? But if you establish it so that people recognize, oh yeah, that's that person, and they can connect you with, oh, that's the person who has experience in this topic. I think that that's the way to go. So an alias is all right, but you need to have people recognizing that alias online. Let's see here. They added content on websites are usually very clear about who is responsible. They added who is responsible instead of who created the content on the page. Okay. That makes sense because you could have a content writer write your content, but ultimately it's the website that's responsible for for that content. Okay, let's see here. And they added these 2 lines here. People may want to showcase their own personal talent, experiences, and perspectives. So those are the 3 important things here: talent, experiences, and perspectives. That's what they've added. And then they kind of changed some wording here. Instead of businesses want users to know who they are, they said businesses and organizations may want people to know who they are and what they do. I think that's important. I think if you have a business that, everybody has a business that does a particular thing, you want people to be able to try Googling your business and say, what is your company known for? And if it doesn't come up as the topics that you want to be known for, then you have some more work to do, Okay, artists, that's the same here. Okay, that's the same. They just changed the order. High quality stores want users to feel comfortable buying online. They took out high quality stores. That makes sense, really. Websites want users to be able to distinguish between content created by themselves versus what was added by other users. And they took that out. Okay. Okay, those are the same. How are we doing here? I think we're doing all right. This is good. We're going to get to the E stuff. E. What the? Did they add something here? 2.5.3 is here. They added stuff. Okay, that's why I'm confused. Instead of often. Okay, this is all new. In page quality rating tasks, you'll need to identify who created the main content on a page. To help you do so, the table below describes the primary content creators for common web page types. Okay, so these are the types and they can overlap. Okay, these are the types of content creators. Interesting. So I think it's probably going to be important for us to identify which type of content creator are you. So you're the type of website where the website owner created the page and much of the main content on the page. All right. And there might be comments, there might be reviews, there might be other content posted by users, but the page itself is the responsibility of the website. Okay. So this makes sense. If it's your business, your homepage, an introductory page on a personal website, personal page on an online merchant website. All right. I'm not going to read every single word here. I'm just going to kind of skim it. Okay. User comments and reviews may play a significant role on the page. This is really important. And there was something that I quote all the time that Gary Ish said years ago on Twitter, where somebody asked if comments were a ranking factor. And he said, basically, like if you gave it a score and good content is a 5 in the ranking score, then comments might be a 1. And so having a good comment section is a good thing. And if you think about it, that's what makes, like, if I write the same article on a subject as Glenn Gabe does, then, the comments might make it different. We might, we're still going to have different content, but some of the comments are where the real questions of users come out. So this is important. As long as the website creates and actively maintains the page, the website is considered to be the primary content creator. So this is just saying that when there's comments on the page interesting. I think this is good because this opens the door for, it allows Google, I think, to say that, if there's a spammy comment section, we might consider this page low quality in the past. But now if you look at it as like, users can probably figure out that the comments are just junk. And if the content on the page is good, then that's really what matters. I think that's kind of what they're saying here. The website owner created the page and the main content is produced by authors or other content creators. Okay. And the website decides what to publish. So this sounds like a search engine land type of thing to me. Magazine article, scientific journal paper. Okay. The primary content creators are the journalists, scientists. Okay. So if I'm right about this, and this is like search engine land. So if I write an article for search engine land, it's me who's responsible for that content. Interesting. Often they are individuals, but it could be an organization, a company. Yeah. Okay. All right. And if there are user comments, then they're not typically the focus of the page. Again, I feel like this is Google saying that they can choose whether to ignore comments on a page. I think if there's a page that, well, we'll probably get to this instead of me thinking. The web page consists of social media posts from a single account. Okay. Local business, primary content creator is the person who created the account and is posting the main content. All right. Web page is created by multiple users. So this is like a forum or a Q&A or search results page of a social media website. And the people posting are the content creators. Okay, so that makes sense. So Google here is telling us if they've put all of this really specific information into the QRG about understanding who the creator of the content is, then it tells us that that's important. And so I would imagine in future updates, we may see that as we look at pages that, maybe dropped, we might see that okay, well, maybe they haven't described who's creating the content, or maybe they were previously dinged by low quality content in the comments, and now Google is able to just recognize that the comments aren't as important to this content. Interesting stuff. Okay, let's see here. What if the comments on a travel blog are from 2017? Should we keep them? If they were valuable in 2017, then that's fine. You don't need to worry. John Mueller said that. Somebody asked that about sites like Search Engine Roundtable. Barry Schwartz wrote about stuff like 20 years ago that is not important to search today, but that doesn't make his website low quality today. So what John had said is at the time, if people would consider it spammy or not helpful, then that's the type of thing that it might be helpful to just remove that from your site today. But if you have stuff on your site from it, just because it's old doesn't mean that it's low quality. Okay, let's see here. These look the same. I think those are the same. Okay. Reputation. Oh, where did that go? 2.6 is gone. Okay, so they took out, oh, I see. They took out reputation of the website and creator of the main content because they clarified it earlier. And research on reputation. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to need to I'm going to need to completely rewrite my QRG book, which is what I'm doing. So that doesn't matter, but it means I have to redo it in a different way. All of this is removed. Sources of, this is like one of my favorite things to quote about doing site colon searches. That doesn't mean, and this doesn't mean that Google is doing site colon searches, but this is kind of replicating, if I'm looking, let me explain how these work, because even though they're not in there now, like they're super helpful. If I'm trying to do reputation research on IBM, this is saying, find me people who are talking about the brand IBM, but aren't on IBM.com. And it kind of helped us understand the ways that, Google's not doing site colon searches, but that kind of replicates what they're trying to do is, where are there other people talking about this brand? Okay. I think this is slightly changed here. Note that in different locales and different social media platforms may have their own conventions and standards on what information should be on there. Okay. And they took all this out. Oh, and they took these examples of reputation information out. Interesting. Okay. All these examples. Oh, this is my favorite one that I've quoted in so many talks and stuff. This backyard jungle gym that has, and they give all these examples of how they've been scamming people online. Okay, so that's all gone. And that's gone. Overall okay, let's see. Overall page quality. Now that you are an expert in understanding websites and web pages, here are the high-level steps of page quality rating. Why would they add that in? Now that you are an expert. All right, we're experts. They've added in, if the website or page has a harmful purpose or is designed to deceive people about its true purpose, then it should be rated lowest. That doesn't sound new, that it's just kind of reworded. And, it's rare that I see that happening now. Okay. Assess the potential of the page to be harmful. So they've changed that to say to cause harm as described in these guidelines. That's interesting because there are situations where you could say, well, this has the potential to cause harm because of like this obscure reason. I had trauma in this area, and so Google's saying, there's lots of ways that things could cause harm, but if it's something that's described in the guidelines, then that's something that Google is potentially going to be looking at. Websites or pages that are harmful to people or society, untrustworthy, or spammy as defined in these guidelines should be rated lowest in terms of quality. Otherwise, okay, so they've just kind of slightly reworded that. Important, this is new. There are harmful pages that are, oh no, this is not new. I've seen this before. I think they just put it somewhere else, that are seemingly official, expert, or authoritative. And, I think some of this comes from people who have purchased or gotten a subdomain on, a university website or something like that. Any type of website may have pages with harmful main content, from user uploaded videos and forum posts to harmful products sold online to pages that mimic the look of scientific papers or encyclopedia entries. All pages should be evaluated for harm, including pages on government websites, academic institutions. Okay, all of these. That's really on Google's radar, is making sure that they're not ranking pages that have the potential to cause harm to somebody. This looks like this has changed. Identifying lowest and low quality pages can be the most difficult part of page quality rating. The guidance in the section on lowest, okay, these high, okay, so they're basically saying it's hard to identify low and high quality. And I get it. I've been studying this. These guidelines are open almost every single day on my desktop, and I'm still trying to learn what Google is getting at in these. So there's so much in here. Okay, these have changed. 3.1 now, instead of most important factors for page quality rating, we've got page quality rating considerations. The following table summarizes things you could consider. All right, so purpose of the page is what it was. If the page has a harmful purpose, or if it's designed to deceive people about its true purpose, or who is responsible for the content. That's interesting. I see a lot of niche sites right now that have, I don't think they're deceiving people, but they have a lot of their about page is so vague, just saying, I've been doing gardening for 10 years, and all my friends say I'm the best gardener ever, and really vague. I think Google's really, really going to be wanting to be able to connect the content creator with an entity so that they can recognize whether this entity is known for having experience in this topic. The potential for the page or website to cause harm as described in these guidelines. All right, that's different. And the topic of the page and the extent to which the topic is YMYL. So Google told us that EAT is important for every single query, not just YMYL, but it's more important for YMYL queries. And that's why it's important for us to be able to understand when a topic is YMYL, because EAT is much, much more important for these topics. Okay, that's what he says. Pages, what they say. Pages on YMYL topics have higher standards than pages on non-YMYL topics. They go on the type of website. Oh my gosh, there's a lot here. Okay. There's hobby websites versus large corporate websites. And I think there are situations, I think this is where Google's understanding of intent comes into play, because Google can understand, if I am researching, best paint to use in this whatever model that I'm making, Google knows that they don't necessarily need to have somebody who has a degree in making models. Whereas if I'm, Googling, I don't know, the best system to implement for a business, and in some sense, I probably want more of a corporate website. So intent is how Google probably does a lot of this. Let's see, there's websites involving financial transactions and then ones that do not. And of course, being HTTPS and secure, is if you're involving financial transactions, then you need to be trustworthy for sure. Websites with content created by ordinary people on a volunteer basis. That sounds like Wikipedia type thing, versus websites with content created by professionals. It could also be sites like, say, the Moz Q&A forum. I think that would fit there. Information provided by the website and content creator. While the information that websites and content creators provide about themselves isn't always trustworthy, it's an important starting point. That's interesting. Okay. I think that this is there for a reason, because, like I said, all these niche site owners that are like, yes, I've been doing this forever, but there's nothing to back that up. I think that Google's going to go after that soon. The quality of the main content. Consider to the extent to which the main content is satisfying and helps the page achieve its purpose. A lot of people are asking me, well, how would Google know that? Like, how does Google know if a page has a satisfying amount of content on it? And I think a lot of that can be done with entities. I think Google can say, here are the topics that are associated with this topic that you're writing on. And you've written on entities that are closely connected to those topics that other people haven't covered, and maybe in a way that demonstrates expertise. I think that AI can suss out all sorts of ways that content is demonstrating things. So, when Google there was a day where SEOs, we'd look at this type of stuff and say, no machine could ever figure that out. So these are nice. But now today, I am 100% convinced that if something's in here, it's what Google's trying to do. So there's so many clues in here. Okay, the title of the page is considered part of the main content. This is important because one of Google's content quality questions, the core update questions, is about whether or not the title and the headings of the page accurately represent what's on the page. I think this is a huge part of how Google understands content on pages, is what's in your headings is very, very important. The role of ads and supplemental content on the page. Okay. And it's fine. Ads are not a reason. Ads in itself are not low quality. Google understands that pages need advertisement. A lot of them do, to make money. The reputation of the website and the content creator. All right. We talked about that. Trustworthiness of the page. EEAT. Assess how trustworthy the page is. Experience. expertise, and authoritativeness can help with your assessment of trust. Some pages, some types of pages require a high level of trust. All right. And these overlap. You might notice factual inaccuracies that lower your assessment of trust. While conducting reputation research, you might find information about the expertise of the content creator, which increases your level of trust. Okay, so that's a big clue right there, right? Is if I wrote about my cats and you wrote about your cats, we both have experience in cats, in having cats, but I have a veterinary degree. And so even though Google might trust both of our answers, I bet you mine would be just a little bit more trustworthy. I think that's what they're saying there. Okay, 3.2 has changed the quality of the main content. Oh, right. This is has been well quoted. So they've changed this and made a very nice, pretty table. Okay, the quality of the main content is one of the most important considerations for page quality rating. The main content plays a major role in determining how well a page achieves its purpose. And so the unifying theme for evaluating the quality of main content is the extent to which the main content allows the page to achieve its purpose and offers a satisfying user experience. A big part of my upcoming book is talking about fully meeting the needs of searchers. I want to see if they've changed fully meeting the needs of searchers in here because this is kind of what they're talking about. Okay, so effort. Consider the extent to which a human being actively worked to create satisfying content. That's really good because a lot of I mean, I think it's fairly obvious the main reason why they're adding experience as a ranking factor that they want to be able to reward is maybe ranking factor is the wrong. I don't know. Is it a ranking factor? I don't know. We get hung up on semantics, but they want to reward experience is because that's what separates AI written content from human written content. You can talk about AI can generate some words that makes it sound like it's coming from a place of firsthand experience. But if you haven't actually got firsthand experience in using a product or whatever it is you're talking about, it's going to be hard to replicate that with AI. So effort might be direct, such as a person translating a poem from one language to another. Effort might go into designing page functionality. Okay, so I think UX is something that's really important. By the way, if you do good work in advising people on UX, then please reach out to me. I have a couple of people who are looking for some UX help and want to hire people. Effort may go into, okay, oh, we talked about that. On the other hand, automatic creation of thousands of pages by running existing freely available content through existing translation software without any oversight, manual curation, etc., would not be considered to have human effort. Google's been saying this for years that auto-translated content is not high-quality content, so that's nothing new. Originality, yes. Okay, so to me, so this is one of Google's, you know what, I'm going to open them up because they're always this document should be required reading almost every day. I'm sorry, my face is in the way of this. For SEOs, and they ask these questions, and this is what my book again is going to cover: is how Google algorithmically could they have all the capabilities to answer these questions. I think that some of them they're still working on doing it, to its full extent. But so many of the questions talk about: does this content provide original information, reporting, research, or analysis? Does the content provide a substantial, complete, or comprehensive description of the topic? Does the content provide insightful analysis? And this is the thing that AI can't do that. Well, it can help you do that though. My podcast episode this week, I wrote probably at least 50% of it with ChatGPT, and I don't know if you noticed that, but it's not like I said, "Hey, write me a podcast." I asked very specific questions, and I said, "Here's my wording for this, but it doesn't sound right. Could you reword it?" And that is good. That's still original content. So it's not wrong to use AI, but if you're using AI as a shortcut to try to avoid expertise, then it's gonna be more and more difficult to rank. Talent or skill. Consider the extent to which the content is created with enough talent and skill to provide a satisfying experience for people who visit the page. This means that my juggling website is never going to rank. Accuracy. For information pages, consider the extent to which the content is factually accurate. Okay, now this is interesting. There is a clip that you know what, I reference it all the time, but it's going to be hard for me to find right now, where they talk about how Google, how an algorithm can actually figure out whether entities on the page are factual or false, compared to what's in the knowledge graph, what's into, if there's a general consensus on the web that this fact is true, and you are saying the opposite of this fact, then that could be seen as a negative. So that's really super interesting. Consider the extent to which the content is accurate. This is if it's YMYL. Okay. And consistent with well-established expert consensus. So the question that always comes up when we talk about consensus is alternative medical sites. So what if I was interested in seeing a chiropractor or seeing an acupuncturist or somebody who's not maybe recognized by mainstream medical circles? Is it Google's responsibility for me to not be able to find alternative health sites? That's tricky. Now, Google is not against alternative health sites. The problem is there are far more spammy, scammy alternative health sites than there are good ones. And so they have to be very, very strict here. So I have all sorts of clients with alternative health sites that rank really, really well, but I have seen a number that really don't. So this is very interesting that they've worded it this way. Let's see here. For the purpose of the page. Talent, skill is important for how-to videos. Interesting. Again, I can juggle, but I'm not very good at it. So I wonder, how will Google algorithmically determine somebody's skill? I don't know how they'll determine that. Talent and originality is important for artistic expression. What they're saying here is this is what they want to reward. People like watching animated people. And so talent and originality is important. The amount of effort expected for a short video shared on social media is less than for a full-length professionally produced documentary. Okay, so what we're doing right now, I need to be putting some effort into it, right? For each page you evaluate, spend a few minutes examining the main content before drawing a conclusion about it. Read the article, watch the video. This is interesting because I've talked to a number of people who were quality raters and they don't do stuff like this. Like they do super fast tasks, but maybe there is a subset of quality raters that do this. I don't know. Remember that the main content also includes page features and functionality. So test the page out. That's something that has been in the QRG for a while. If your page is broken, that's a sign of low quality. For example, if the page is a product page on a store website, put a product in the cart. That's not new. If it's an online game, try to play it. That's not new. Oh, this is excellent. This is what I tell people all the time. Do your best to imagine that you are someone who's very interested in the topic, functionality, or purpose served on the page. Then think about how satisfying the main content would be for that person. That is really, really good because we as SEOs, we write content for search engines without even knowing it. When you write content about, like, if I'm trying to write an article about how to start a lawnmower, I don't need a whole history of what is a lawnmower and all the different types of lawnmowers, but we do that as SEOs because we're trying to make pages that look relevant to content. And instead, the person who's interested in that topic really just wants to get to how do I start this lawnmower? And that's what I'm seeing with core updates, is that the pages that are winning with core updates are the ones that get to the point quickly and just answer the searcher's question in a way that makes the searcher, not have to go look for other stuff. Let's see here. High and low quality main content comes in all formats, all lengths. Okay. Think carefully about what helps the page achieve its purpose. Okay, that's good. And what makes the main content satisfying for users. That's really important. And those are things that I think should be important in every single review of content that we do. All right, so here's the reputation part that I thought they had skipped out on. This is very similar, I think. They just changed the where it was, so that's fine. Is it though? Reputation, I'm going to read this. If the website is not the primary creator of the main content, it's important to research the reputation of the content creator as well. So if you have somebody who's guest posting on your site, of course, they're not doing it for links, right? They're doing it to give you high quality content. It's important, I guess, to research the reputation of that person. Interesting. Reputation research should be performed according to the topic of the page. For example, if the page contains medical information, research the reputation of the research of the website and content creator for providing medical information. And now this is not, when we talk about researching reputation, it doesn't mean like, do they have bad reviews? It might mean that, like, if you have overwhelmingly bad reviews online, then that's a sign of negative reputation. But I think a lot of what they're looking for are signs of positive reputation, that you're known for writing on this topic. You're known for, like, I'm known for the quality raters guidelines. So, Google will probably want to rank this type of content well. Whereas if I wrote about juggling, they would not. So reputation is what you're known for. A website's content creator's reputation can also help you understand, what a website or content creator is best known for. I didn't write this, I swear. For example, newspapers may be known for high quality, independent investigative reporting. So this is important too. I've had in the last week, I would say maybe 5 or 6 different news websites reach out to me saying that they were hit, not necessarily by, like, some of them were core updates, some of them were just gradually seeing declines in traffic and trying to figure out why. And all the news websites are just rewriting everybody else's news. And it's not enough to say, well, we added a couple of lines of original thought into it. It really needs to, if you're writing on the same thing as everybody else, unless you are known as the place where people go. So, like, take, for example, Search Engine Roundtable. Barry Schwartz can write about, he can cover, John Mueller said this and essentially write what was in the tweet. And it can still rank because Search Engine Roundtable is known for publishing that information. And whereas, if maybe you as an SEO who doesn't have as big of a reputation or being known online, publish the same thing, Google's algorithms might say, well, who is this person to just rewrite what everybody else is already saying? So this is important. Note that a company or person may create content on different websites. Okay. Da, 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 da. You never know what you'll find unless you look. Okay, reputation of the website. This sounds familiar. Yes, this is what I thought they had taken out. I don't think that's interesting. I think that's new, about similar web. Customer reviews. Customer reviews can be helpful for assessing the reputation of a store. Be skeptical. Okay, yeah, these are all, I believe this is the same. You know what? I'm just going to look that up here. Yeah, they've just slightly reworded it. So let's just go through here. Yeah, and this is something a lot of people don't always see. Any store can get a few negative reviews. It's not like if you have a couple negative reviews, it's going to hurt you. What Google's looking for is evidence that there's overwhelming evidence that people don't like your company, and then that can make it difficult to rank. Read the reviews because the content of the reviews matters, not just the star rating. And fraud. I had one client that, I've talked about this many times, but had content that we really think was hit because they had a disbarred judge write most of the content, and so he had a bad reputation. And it took them a couple years to recover. They changed the authors to a reputable lawyer, and it took a while. Let's see here. So, okay, this is all still here. Okay, good. So I'm happy about that. All these examples, I think those are the same. I'm not going to go through them. I'm realizing now I've got 10 more minutes and I may not get to the E part, but we'll see. Or maybe I did already finish the E part. Reputation of content creators. Is this new? For individual. Yeah, they've just kinda reformulated it all. Expect to find okay, more formal reputation information about people who create content in a journalistic, scientific, academic, or other traditionally professional capacity. So that's where you need a degree, educational degrees, peer validation, expert co-authors, interesting, and citations can be evidence of positive reputation for, professionals who publish their work. And also employment history. I think this is new. I don't think that's in there. Spell it. No, that's new. Okay. So now we're gonna see all these people saying, "I've worked at this company, and this company," to try to demonstrate. But you know what? That fits with the knowledge graph, right? Because if you have worked at a place, you've probably put it on your LinkedIn profile. There's gonna be other signals online. You were maybe on their team page. And so that is a way for Google to demonstrate that, yeah, this person who's writing on SEO actually used to work for an SEO agency. I think that's brilliant. That's amazing. Um, Let's see here. Influencers and other individual content creators who earn income on social media platforms. Okay. That's interesting, ranging from biographical details or news articles to less formal reputation sources such as comments. So Google's trying to figure out who's popular online. And that might not seem fair because if you're not popular and you have better content, why should somebody who's popular rank? The problem is that Google wants to show people what they want to see in a way that's safe. So that's going to be hard to fight against. For non professional content creators, including ordinary people who post on social media or forums, you may find informational or informal reputation information on the page itself, such as comments by other people about the creators. Oh gosh, I hope this doesn't cause people to start spewing negativity against their competitors even more. For example, you might find comments or posts from other users helpful to see what other people think about a particular content creator. Okay. I think that's important. Okay, and this was in here too. What to do when you find no content information. Small web. This is new, I think. The way that they've just reworded it a bit. Small websites may have little or no reputation information. This is not indicative of high or low quality. Many small local businesses or community organizations have a small web presence and rely on word of mouth. Okay. Furthermore, forum discussions. People may use an alias or username to post in order to, okay, we talked about aliases. Lack of reputation about people who post personal content is neither a negative or positive sign in your assessment of the page. So they're not looking at the reputation of people who are posting personal content or they don't want to. Finally, remember that there are several important considerations involved in page quality rating. Reputation is important, but if reputation information is not available, then pay extra attention to other page quality. Okay, nothing earth shattering in there. Here it is. Oh, should I? Yeah, you know what? I think I'll do this. I'm trying to decide whether to do 2 videos or leave it here, because I only have about 8 minutes. Let's see. We'll try it. 3.4. Okay, so this is new. Experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. Yeet. The most important member is trust. So trust is at the center of everything. Consider the extent to which the page is accurate, honest, safe, and reliable. The type and amount of trust needed depends on the page type. Okay, so online stores need to be secure. If you're going to take credit cards, you need to have trust. Product reviews should be honest and written to help others make informed purchasing decisions rather than to solely sell the product. Informational products or pages on clear YMYL topics must be accurate. Accuracy is important to prevent harm to people in society. Is that new? Must be accurate. No, that's new. Or not new. They said news sources. Informational though. Oh, never mind. Not new. Social media posts on non-YMYL topics may not need. Okay, yeah. So if it's not YMYL, All right, experience. Consider the extent to which the content creator has the necessary firsthand or life experience for the topic. Many types of pages are trustworthy and achieve their purpose well when created by people with a wealth of personal experience. For example, which would you trust? A product review from someone who has personally used the product or a review from someone who is not? All right, so that's pretty straightforward that Google wants to reward experience. And I think it's important that they put experience before expertise, and I'll say it again that I think that this is their way to fight against AI generated content that doesn't demonstrate experience. So expertise is the extent to which the content creator has the necessary knowledge or skill for the topic. Different. Okay, so I think what you're asking yourself there is um, in their example here about electrical wiring, I would want to get an answer from somebody who has expertise, not necessarily a degree, but like somebody who actually looks at wiring on a daily basis. Authoritativeness, this is how well known as a go to source for the topic. I really like that wording. While most topics do not have one official authoritative website or content creator, when they do, that website or content creator is often among the most reliable and trustworthy sources. For example, a local business profile on a page on a social media on social media may be the authoritative and trusted source for what is on sale now. The official government page for getting a passport is the unique official and authoritative source for passport renewal. I don't think there's anything new there. I think it's saying like you can be the authority or you can be an authoritative source. They might overlap. So somebody might have expertise due to firsthand experience. And there might be different combinations of "yee" relevant to different topics. You should consider the purpose, type, and topic of the page, then ask yourself what would make the content creator a trustworthy source in that context. Trust is the most important member because untrustworthy pages have low EEAT, no matter how experienced, expert, or authoritative they might seem. So if trust is lacking, then you're stuck. And I think, I've talked a lot about Google spam updates lately. Google put out a new spam circumvention policy for people who are repeatedly breaking the spam guidelines. I think they're going to start enforcing it soon. And I think what they said that it'll make it so that you don't rank in places like Discover and top stories. To me, that essentially strips EAT. It's essentially saying, well, we don't trust this website. So here's what EEAT is formed on: what the website or content creators say about themselves. This is where having very clear information on your website is important. Using schema to make it really clear what is important about your business is important. Look at the About Us page on the website. And that's, again, use the words about or about us to link to your About Us page. Don't try to be cute with fancy little words there. And then they say, what do others say about the website? Now, this is partly probably based on links, but I think Google is getting much, much better. Right now we're in the midst of a link spam update. Look for independent reviews, references, news articles, other sources of credible information. This is not new. And then what's visible on the page. So this is talking about the quality of the content itself. Let's see, how much more is there we've got a fair bit more. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to have to pause this now. I've got a meeting that I need to get to. And at some point later this week, either today, tomorrow, I'm not sure when, we'll pick this up more and continue talking about these changes with EEAT. My apologies that I can't finish it up now. I hope you've enjoyed this. Open to feedback. I'll keep this up on the YouTube channel so you can find it and refer back to it. And like I said, I'm going to run the transcript through ChatGPT and pick out the most interesting things that I thought was interesting to start with. Hope you've enjoyed this, and I wish you the best of luck with your rankings.